Good morning. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. My name is Marilyn Orr, President of the club, and we are thrilled to have you join us today. This meeting broadcast is available on HCTV, as well as our Rotary of Hudson YouTube channel and Facebook. Our club meets weekly using this digital platform, Zoom. When we meet in person, it's at Laurel Lake Retirement Community for breakfast. We hope to get back to that soon. We meet most Wednesday mornings from 7:15 to 8:30 a.m. So come out to join us for a meeting. We would love to have you as a guest. To learn more about Rotary, our club, and the impact we are having on our local community and the world, please visit our website, rotaryhudson.org. So enjoy this meeting today and help us share the message that Rotary opens doors of opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ron Strobel, the Sergeant at Arms. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson this morning. It's a nice morning so far. Snow is scheduled at 8 o'clock, just in case you haven't checked your weather yet this morning. Our invocation this morning is by Kelly Brennan.
I have to unmute myself. Good morning, everyone. This is a poem by Greg Olson. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Greg or not, but by the magical light of a small Christmas candle, an old little man tries to be carefully handled. The small porcelain manger which served as a bed for the wee baby Jesus to lay down his head. I love you for bringing this season of joy. I love you for growing to man from a boy, for being our light and leading the way, for being the spirit which makes Christmas Day. You've been my mentor, my model, my hero, and guide. Please continue to keep me and stay by my side. I've tried to follow your teachings and give as you gave, reminding all to be kind and that it's wise to behave. Help me to serve others and bring them your light, especially the children. Please bless them tonight. Some have so very little, scarce food for their table. You know how it feels. You were born in a stable. Bless all their mothers and fathers with knowledge that's sure. Bless the gift that they give is their love, strong and pure. That's the spirit of Christmas when all is said and done. God's gift of love that came from his son. Then back to his mother, the child is returned, the nativity glows as the candle is burned. In a wink, the little old man slips quietly away. Some say he goes up the chimney and climbs in his sleigh. Whatever the case, his mission is clear. Give unto others, bringing love and good cheer. He flies into the night and bids us adieu, doing for others what Jesus would do. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kelly. George, would you mute yourself so that your shuffling papers doesn't interfere? George?
He did.
Our pledge and four-way test this morning will be led by Doug McDowell.
Good morning, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Number three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Number four, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Doug. And now our president, Marilyn Orr.
Good morning, Rotarians and guests. It's wonderful to have you here. Today is the last meeting of our year. We welcome again Marty Bach and the students from the Hudson Service Learning Club. Marty, tell us who you brought today.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's absolutely lovely to see you all on this beautiful December morning before we get a little coating of snow later on this afternoon. Just want to explain, I'm just outfitted for the Big Ten championship game, right, this coming weekend, right? The motto right here is called cover the spread, right? Or beat the spread. That's our hashtag beat the spread. So I'm looking forward to that this weekend. So it's great to see you. As far as service learning is going, we're always in transition. So we transitioned back at the high school to fully remote last week. And with students at various sites throughout Summit County, we had to deal with, this site goes into quarantine or this student goes into quarantine. But we've been able to shuffle students around, make it work, keep them productive, which is what they've wanted to do. A lot of them have overwhelmingly said, I want something to do, especially hands-on. So thank you again for the grant that you provided. For what it's doing is we're continuing to work with places like Joanne Fabrics and Michaels that give us very good deals on things. And the students have been able to paint crafts or make blankets or do cards that are really nice, well-done cards of a nice nature. And we've been delivering them recently to the Valor Home of Summit County, which is for homeless veterans down in Akron. Jamie Cosman went to deliver them yesterday. They were very happy to receive them. The director there said, just so you know what's going on, is that she has a number of veterans there. They don't have any cases, but her other director, it was currently being tested yesterday for COVID. And she said, if he goes down, she's then there 7 days a week until he can come back because there's no one else to run the place. So basically she doesn't have any days off if he goes down in terms of if that happens. And the interesting thing to me was if one of the veterans comes down with a positive test, they quarantine that veteran in a hotel in Akron for 2 weeks. And then that's an expense that they have to pay for a hotel room for 2 weeks. So anything that they said where we're doing, delivering them just small things for the holidays, blankets, and I said any kind of gift because they're getting really no contact is really been wonderful. So thank you for supporting that. It's gone a long way. The students I have introduced today are Emma and Jordan, all right, two of our seniors. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Emma first and then to Jordan. So Emma, feel free to unmute yourself.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Emma Golden. I'm a senior from the Service Learning Program. And for my site, I've been paired with Mrs. Hips, and she's a 3rd grade special education teacher at Eastwoods. And currently I've been going there 2 times a week. And while I'm there, I get the opportunity to build relationships with the kids, bond with them. And just being there has been such an amazing experience. I feel like I have grown so much with my communication skills and just being able to build relationships with all the teachers, the aides, the students. It truly has been such a rewarding and satisfying experience so far. Every time I'm there, I'm just overwhelmed by the supportive environment, by all the teachers, and just their constant kindness and flexibility during everything that's been going on. And I know that being there every week, even though the schedule has been changing, just being able to go in person, I'm just super thankful to be able to do that. It's the highlight of my week. And I just love getting to bond with the kids and get to know them. So I'm very thankful for all the teachers are doing to keep this class super positive and just being able to let us go to different services and making it work. So I'm super thankful for them. And for my plans for next year, I plan to attend the University of Dayton in the fall, and I plan to major in early childhood education and minor in creative writing. So thank you all. I'm glad I could be here this morning.
Thanks, Emma. Very well done. All right. On next to Jordan. All right.
Hi, I'm Jordan Hopgood, also a senior at Hudson High School. And I am with Brenda Schnake. She's my supervisor, and I'm at Harbor Light Hospice. And I have absolutely loved it there. It's really hard this year because we obviously can't work directly with patients, which in previous years has kind of been, most of the experience at the hospice centers when students are at hospice centers, because you get to form relationships with all the patients and make a difference in their lives. But my supervisor has kind of been trying to come up with different ways for us to make an impact on them. So we've been doing a lot of crafts for them. Like for the holidays this year, we are making little pipe cleaner snowflakes, and we're going to send them to all the patients. So it's, even though we haven't been able to do it like we have in previous years, it's still an extremely meaningful experience, and I've loved my time there. We've also been doing different things like delivering pies to the patients, the home patients, and it's just been very meaningful to know that even though I can't work directly with all of the patients and make relationships with them, I've still been making even the slightest difference, because I know this is extremely hard for them. Most of them can't see their families, and I can imagine how hard that could be. So it's been very rewarding knowing that I am at least trying to make a difference in one of their lives. And I've also made lots of relationships with, my supervisor and the other people who work at the office, but it's hard because we can't go in the office now. They've been trying to limit our time in the office. So, it's hard, but it's still a rewarding experience, even though we are so limited. So I wouldn't say that it's the same as it would be without the virus, obviously, but I still love being at Harbor Light Hospice. And my plans for the future are I'm attending Grand Valley State University next year, and I'm planning, you probably don't know where that is, it's in Michigan. And I'm planning on majoring in exercise science with a plan to eventually go into a physical therapy program.
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, everybody with Hudson Rotary, for everything you do to support our program. Really do appreciate it, and really hope you have a great holiday season. We're going to be heading out in just a few minutes, because we have first period starting in 18 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you, Marty. It's always wonderful to hear from you. And we miss you too. This December would normally be the time that Rotarians would be working with you to judge some of the student presentations. And I always have looked forward to that, because the quality of what our students are doing just blows me away. It reinforces how wonderful this program is, and it also reinforces how important it is to Rotary too. You mentioned that our grants are important to you. Well, working with your students is important to us. And so again, thank you for all the hard work that you do. And it's wonderful to see this successful program launching so well during this time of COVID. Today, we will be having an election of officers for the Rotary year 2021-2022. The proposed slate was passed by the Board of Directors at our meeting last week and is as follows. For President, Patrick Shearer. For President-elect, Father Joe Boisel. For Secretary, Chris Barker. For Treasurer, Ben Rexroad. For the Board of Directors, Dan Filburn, to fill the unexpired term of Patrick Shearer. James Ahern, Elizabeth Kwolek, and Ed Sogan. We'll be running a poll as soon as James can load that here, and all active members are invited to vote either for or against the slate of officers. James, can we get our poll up? Let's see how this goes. We might delay that just a second, and as soon as the poll is ready to go, here we go. Okay. If you could take just a few moments to cast your vote and submit it, we'll have results in just a moment. Today, we are bidding a fond farewell to two of our Rotary members. Donna Kastner is moving to the Blue Ash neighborhood in Cincinnati to be near her son and his family. Donna's husband is retiring next month, and this has been a very busy year for them as they've sold their Hudson home and downsized. Ron Barnhouse is also resigning to spend more time with his very active grandchildren. Ron has been a longtime member of our club, and during that time, he's been the key member in getting us what I call meeting ready when we were meeting in person at Laurel Lake. He also served as our primary contact with the Hudson Community Service Association and the Hudson Food Bank, and I want to thank him for that service. I'm also very pleased, though, to announce that our new member, Peter Spicagna, will be stepping into that role with the assistance of Richard Nebbiolo. And I wish both of these members Godspeed, and they're welcome to join us anytime that they wish. So, do we have the results of our poll? Let's see if we can bring that up.
I have 34 votes so far, 35. Has
Okay.
everyone voted? It was no.
Please don't do that to me.
Well, it was 30. So what I have right now, 35-0. Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you so much. And it looks like we have met our Rotary obligation to report our officers are elected before the first of the year. Today, we continue our focus on professional sports. And George Snyder, would you please unmute yourself? And George was the one responsible for getting our speaker today. And let's see if we can go ahead and get our program going. Good morning, George.
Good morning, Marilyn. Can you hear me?
We certainly can. Thank you.
Good. My PC froze about 7:25, and so I very quickly have learned how to dial in. But anyway, our three speakers this month have shared two things in common. First, all are senior executives of Cleveland sports teams. Second, all are long-term employees, a rare occurrence in today's business world. Our speaker and guest this morning, Mike Ostrowski, began his career with the Cleveland Cavaliers some 21 years ago. A graduate of Kent State University, he joined the Cavs as an outside sales representative and rose to the position of Senior Director of Sales and Service, leading teams responsible for premium sales, customer retention, and new business development. During the 2010-2011 season, Mike became Senior Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of the Cleveland Monsters American Hockey League team, and later its president, a position he holds today. In 2012, the Cavaliers operating company also promoted him to become COO of all of its franchise operations, with responsibility for the Cleveland Monsters, the Canton Charge NBA G League basketball team, and the former Cleveland Gladiators arena football team. In his position with the Monsters, he is alternate representative on the American Hockey League Board of Governors. Mike and his wife live in Westlake with their three teenage children who, like their dad, are all active in sports. Thanks to a referral from a Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad trustee, Mike agreed to join the CVSR board in 2018 and has been an active, valued member. Please join me now in welcoming him as our final speaker for Hudson Rotary Sports Month.
Thank you, George. Thank you, Marilyn, and the entire Hudson Rotary group for having me this morning. Now I'm really excited to be here, and we'll share a little bit about what we're kind of working on here at Cavaliers Operating Company. So I have some slides I'll pull up here. I'll kind of run through that, and certainly at the end, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those. So just pull it up here. Okay, can everyone see that? All right. So again, thanks so much for having me. Our organization, the Cavaliers Operating Company is a pretty diverse one, and we have many properties. And as George mentioned, I started my time with the organization kind of on the Cavs side of the house in the ticket sales and premium seating and ticket operations area. And as we grew as a company, we added on sports properties, and I was afforded the opportunities to get closer with each of those properties. So I'll take you through today just some of the areas. Obviously, everyone knows about the Cleveland Cavaliers, the NBA, and so I won't go into a lot of detail about everything on the Cavs side. I'll have a quick cover on a few things. I'll talk to you a little bit about our new esports team. We have an NBA 2K team called the Cavs Legion as well that we own and operate. And then the areas that I focus on today mainly, as George mentioned, is our Cleveland Monsters American Hockey League team, and then our Canton Charge NBA G League team, which is a developmental league for the NBA. And then, of course, our Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse business with all of our concerts and events that we have as well. But my time really is spent mainly on the on the Monsters and the Charge franchises. So, obviously, you guys probably all know who we are and where we're at. We, as the Cavaliers Monsters organization, we're home base right in downtown Cleveland at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. As probably most of you know, if you didn't know, we just went through a huge renovation and really a transformation of our building. Our building's 25 years old and went through over a $200 million renovation that really completely transformed the field house into one of the best buildings in the country, if not the world. As you can see here, even the outside aesthetic look of the field house was completely changed. We added about 45,000 square feet to the north side of the building here with this beautiful glass facade and all kinds of things inside the building where if you haven't been there and you are able to come back once we get out of everything here, you probably won't recognize it. It is just a completely transformed building with brand new concourses, 9 new premium clubs, different communities and neighborhoods within the concourse, brand new executive office, new box office. We redid all of our suites and premium seating areas, kind of just on and on to all the different amenities that the building has now. So it's just a great event place, and it really is the premier entertainment destination in Northeast Ohio, which is the home to 200 plus events per year. Obviously everyone knows the Cavs, the Monsters. We have the Mid-American Basketball men's and women's basketball championships, which is one of the longest tenured tournaments in a neutral site location in the country. We have family shows, concerts, you name it. We have a ton of different events that come through, and we have some real big ones coming. We're very, very proud to be hosting the 2022 NBA All-Star Game. We have the 2024 NCAA Women's Final Four, and we were just awarded here a couple weeks ago the 2026 NCAA Wrestling Championships. We had that in 2018. The NCAA men's first and second round tournament will be back in 2025. So we have some major events that will be coming to the field house. And we've already had some major events too. We've had 4 NBA finals. We had a Calder Cup championship. We had an Arena Bowl championship and the Republican National Convention, which is one of the biggest events and highest ticketed media credentialed events outside the Olympics. And we've had that at the former Quicken Loans Arena. So just a huge busy building. We're ranked very high in Polestar in terms of attractions and events that come through the field house. And we're really proud. We have a huge hardworking group that keeps us running, but very proud of the field house. Talking quickly about the Cavs. So obviously, we're getting ready to start our season. Certainly, as everyone has been impacted, all businesses and certainly professional sports teams with the pandemic, we're working through that. And as we got paused back in March, and then the NBA restarted down in Orlando in a bubble. There were 22 teams that were able to go down to the bubble. We unfortunately were not one of those teams, based on kind of record and playoff potentials at that point in time. But we're really excited to get back. The bubble season ended in October, and the NBA and the Board of Governors and the players and the Players Union and all the teams worked really hard to say, hey, we need to get back to business. We need to first and foremost do it safely, to make sure we're following all protocols, guidelines, and procedures, and working with our state and local governments and medical professionals and everyone that will obviously need to, kind of pretty much allow us and, put together the protocols to return to play. But the NBA announced here, about 3 weeks ago or so that the 2021 season will be a 72-game season, and it will be starting December 23rd. So actually a week from today, The Cavs home opener will be down at the Fieldhouse. We've already had 2 preseason games, which we've won. And this is just a little kind of look at our basketball group. But we're really, really excited about, where we're heading. We have a very young team. Kobe Altman at the bottom of your screen there is our general manager, and has really assembled a great mix of veteran players and young players that, are poised for, really future growth and development. But even this year in this season, in the short term, our head coach, JB Bickerstaff, who is pictured here with Kevin Love, is really, really excited about this team. He is a great coach, someone who can really connect with his players and expects a lot out of them. And so obviously Kevin Love is our veteran and our all-star player. And, we have some other veterans like Andre Drummond and Larry Nance Jr. and others that will play a really big part in the team. And then we have some really young players that have been established too. Jetty Osman is going to be a key contributor. Colin Sexton, one of our first-round draft picks of a couple years ago. Darius Garland. These guys will be key parts to our team. And then we just had our new pick, Isaac Okoro. He was a 5th overall pick in the draft, which ironically just took place last month. But he has had a great start to his preseason. He had actually game-winning layup and 3-point play on Saturday night. Scored 18, I think it was 18 points, and just had a great game. He's a tough defender out of Auburn, versatile player, and is really expected to play some big minutes for us. So we're excited about our current Cavs and the future of the Cavs, and we have some great folks on our basketball side, but it doesn't happen without our owner, Dan Gilbert, as you see pictured up in the right there. Dan has just been a blessing to our organization since he purchased the team in 2005, and has just done so many things, not just for the Cavs, but for the entire region. And Dan is all about, development. He's about people development. He's about city development. He believes in urban economic cores. He believes in the Midwest. Case in point, in his hometown of Detroit, he's moved over 17,000 folks from the suburbs of greater Detroit to downtown Detroit to revive, the central business district in Detroit, and has partnered with major real estate and land developers in Detroit to truly grow it and to get Detroit back. And he's doing the same thing in Cleveland. So he just has a vision for this, him and his team. Dan's a part of close to 100 companies, across the country and world, and close to 30,000 team members, employees work for his businesses. And so he just has a great vision. He is a great leader, and we're really, really fortunate to have him as owner of all of our franchise teams, and of course the Cavs. So just flipping to our esports team. So we have, as I mentioned, we have an NBA esports team that participates in the NBA 2K League. It's called the Cavs Legion, and we have basically 6 players on the team. We have a small business staff that supports this, and as everyone knows, the rise of esports is just huge. And so the NBA teams, many of them wanted to kind of get in on this action. I know my kids, they're always playing NBA 2K and Fortnite and Madden and all these different games all the time, and it's become a professional business. And many corporate organizations and corporate partners would love to be associated with this game, just because there's so many views on this, there's so many impressions, people playing these games at a high level, professionally and socially. And so we are one of 23 teams that are in the NBA 2K League. These teams are owned by NBA organizations and operated by them. And basically there's 6 players on each team. They play in a league. So the Legion plays in a league of 18 regular season games. There's some tournaments that go along with this, and then there's prize money that can be earned as well. But we just kind of back to this, original slide here on the Legion. So we have our own dedicated practice facility that's in the Battery Park region of Cleveland. It's about a 5,500 square foot practice facility that the players train, they practice, they can even do remote games. We've partnered with a number of different esports businesses, and colleges have esports programs now. So we'll do sessions and events with the kids. We have open tournaments at this facility. It's just a great facility, and something that, again, we run as part of our overall organization. So it's a really up and coming part of the sports business, and certainly just in kind of popularity just out there in the world and in the country. People love playing esports, and there's a great professional aspect that we're associated with. So that's the Legion. I'll kind of flip over to the Monsters now. So, the Cleveland Monsters, we're part of the American Hockey League, which is really considered the second best hockey league in the world. We're the league has been around. This will be our 85th season once we get back to playing, and I'll touch on that at the end of the presentation, just kind of where we're at with everything. But the American Hockey League's been around for 85 years. It's a great league. Started in 1936, and it is some top quality hockey that's affiliated, every team on a one-to-one basis with the National Hockey League. So the quality of players that are playing in the AHL are very close to to the NHL. Obviously, it's not the NHL. The guys in the AHL are trying to get to the National League, but you'll see, and even with our affiliate partnership with Columbus, which I'll touch on in a moment, there are several guys. I think last year we had over 10 players that ended up moving up and playing on the Blue Jackets last year. And this is the best player development league in the world. There's a lot of time, effort, and just pure development time that's used on the players. There's 31 teams in the league. Here's kind of a footprint of the league, so it's all over the country. The AHL started kind of mainly on the East Coast, but has had a expansion over the last 5 years or so, even out to the West Coast, and creation of a new Pacific Division. There's 4 teams in Canada, so it's a very well-rounded and well spread out league. The migration for some of the teams out west and even into Canada is the NHL teams had a desire over the years to have their developmental league teams closer to their big clubs. So, they're naturally, you had some very well-established teams and franchises in specific parts of the country, and were within agreements and became a fabric and a key part of those towns. Kind of takes some time for that to play out, but you kind of saw this migration over the last 5 years of some teams that moved out west. So this Pacific Division now has been up and operating, but just a great league. There's the Seattle Kraken is going to be the new NHL team coming online, and the new team in the American Hockey League will be in Palm Springs. So that'll be coming online as well. So there'll be 32 teams in the American Hockey League starting with the 22-23 season. I touched on the Blue Jackets. We're really excited to be with the Columbus Blue Jackets. This partnership, our first 8 years of existence with the American Hockey League, we're with the Colorado Avalanche. They were great partners. We have some great friends to this day with the Avs. We worked well together. The only problem was, Colorado's 1,500 or 2,000 miles away. It's not super close to Cleveland. So, there was a desire by us and the Blue Jackets to look at this, and things kind of had to align. But it came together, and it came together in great form. The first year of our partnership in the 15-16 season, we won the Calder Cup championship in Cleveland. You can see down here, this is a picture of our guys on the ice in the Calder Cup, and it was just a great event. We had over 19,000 fans at the Quicken Loans Arena at the time for that game. We beat the historic Hershey Bears in a overtime game with 1.9 seconds left, 1-0. And that happened just 8 days before some small little thing you might remember of the Cavs winning the NBA championship. So with all of the championship starved years that we've had here in Northeast Ohio, we literally won 2 championships in a span of 8 days in 2016, which was just an amazing experience. So, Columbus, the partnership and all that they put into the hockey side is great. Basically in an affiliation partnership, Columbus provides the players to our organization, and we run the business side. And so we work together, and that's how the partnership, comes together. So just some quick numbers here on the Monsters. We, if you've ever been to a game, it's certainly hard-hitting hockey and top-level competition on the ice, but off the ice, it's family affordable fun and a great night out for anyone. And even if you don't know a lot about hockey, and I, as you kind of heard from the open, I'm more of a basketball. That was my upbringing. I played basketball. I didn't play hockey and didn't really know a lot about hockey, but that's okay. You don't need to know a lot about hockey if you want to come down and have a great time. So we have some great crowds. We have the best fan support in the American Hockey League. Last year, we led the league in attendance, over 9,000 fans per game. For the last 7 years, we've been in the top 3 in American Hockey League average attendance. You can see there we had 19,665 fans at that historic Game 4 Calder Cup victory, which is the largest crowd for a hockey game ever in the state, and it was the second largest playoff crowd in the at that time 80-year history of the American Hockey League. So it was just a great night, and that's our fans. That's the city of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio's fans. This will be our 14th season here in Cleveland with the Monsters, which is crazy to think about. But it's fun. It's a great experience on the ice, but we like to have fun off of it too. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in a moment. But we're very fortunate to be able to play at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, which is as I mentioned, one of the best buildings in the country, and it's certainly the best building in the American Hockey League. But if you can't get to a game at the Fieldhouse, we like to bring that game to you. So we have a huge social media following with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We even have a TikTok channel. Some of my coworkers, we were in our office yesterday, and they were in the conference room doing a TikTok. I know that because my daughter does TikTok all the time. They asked me if I wanted to be in that. I politely declined that, but we have a Monsters TikTok channel now for ones that may be interested in that. We do around 10 games or so per year. It could vary each year, but we broadcast 10 games on Sports Time Ohio or Fox Sports Ohio. So there's visibility there. And then all of our games are on the radio, iHeartRadio this year. We'll have a new home, 1350 AM for that. And then there's a streaming platform of the AHL. So there's a great ways to see the Monsters if you can't be there in person. And then we like to give back. Obviously, giving back is one of our core tenets and something that we do as an organization, as a front office staff, and as our players, that we like to get out there and support the community. So we have our own community foundation that supports the areas of education, youth hockey, health and wellness, and basic needs. We work with a number of community partners. Growing the sport of hockey is a big initiative, always has been and always will be of ours as the professional hockey team in town. Hockey can sometimes be a tough game, maybe an intimidating game to crack into. So we do a number of youth hockey programs, clinics, events. We connect with all the youth hockey programs on a Learn to Play partnership module that aligns up coaching and resources and other things that connects us to the youth hockey community and them to us. And then, we're working with schools and other areas of the community, based on need and other things that we may be looking at. So it's a real important, thing that we do within our organization. We like to have fun too. If people ask, well, what's Monsters hockey all about? As I mentioned, it's the second best hockey league in the world. As the front office, the business side, we can't really control that though. Like that, you can't really control what happens on the court or the ice. Games will be won or lost. Players will be there. But we don't have anything to do with that. But we like to control what we can control, which is the experience that people have when they come down. So we like to have a lot of fun. We like to really be creative. We have the best creative staff in all of the American Hockey League. And, in the American Hockey League, we have about 30 dedicated team members that focus in on the Cleveland Monsters, and you add in the Canton Chargers, another 9 or so. So we're in that kind of 35 to 40 team member range and focus on our 2 properties. But we have some great creative minds, and they're always tying into not just what's going on in the hockey world, but what's going on in pop culture and what are the new movies coming out and connecting with the other sports teams in town and what nonprofit organizations are out there that we can partner with. So our promotional schedule in a normal year is fully packed. I mean, we are doing things, and these are real live promotions that we've done over the years, and a lot of these were just last year. But we've done some things like for the 50th anniversary of the Apollo moon landing, we said, okay, how can we make a great theme night and tie it back to the anniversary of the landing on the moon? And so we connected with NASA. We concepted a bunch of different ideas. And one of these ideas in part was we had our moon landing night, which we brought in Mario Runco, which is a famous astronaut that's been on several space shuttle missions. We had pieces of the moon there in a concourse exhibit that NASA came in and was educating people about. We had our players wear these astronaut-inspired jerseys. This jersey right here was actually worn by our players, and after the game was auctioned off. Our fans, hockey fans, love jerseys. It doesn't matter if it's the regular jerseys or theme jerseys. They want to get those sweaters, as they call them. So those proceeds for those jerseys go to our community foundation, which we of course give back to the community. But they wore this jersey, and it was awesome. And they absolutely looked like astronauts out on the ice. So it was a really, really cool night that celebrated something much larger than that. We do that for other things. This one jersey here, the sunflower jersey. There's a cancer awareness and support organization called Prayers for Maria up here, kind of based in the Avon and Rocky River areas. And we partnered with them, the McNamara family and their organization. And this jersey was inspired by, unfortunately, their daughter passing from cancer years ago, but their foundation is doing so many great things. And we wanted to work with them. And we came up together in designing this sunflower inspired Monsters jersey. That, as you can see, the sunflower is a key part of the Prayers from Maria kind of logo and theme, and we wore that on the ice and auctioned that off as well. So we're doing a number of different things. We have 1, 2, 3 Fridays, $1 sodas, $2 hot dogs, $3 beers every Friday. That's one of our staple promotions. Hockey happy hours during the week, where we have beer specials, family days where you can come down on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon and just have a really kid-oriented game presentation experience, just kind of concessions, things of that sort. And then we've done some other really cool things. A lot of these have been last year, when you touched on with the baseball team changing their name. We did a Indians inspired hockey jersey. This is Andrew Miller, Mike Clevenger, and a couple of other guys that formerly were on the Indians. We did this about 5 years ago, and they came down. We wore this on the ice. We had an Indians game presentation theme, and the 4 guys came over and dropped the puck, the ceremonial first puck. For WWE fans, we had Jerry the King Lawler at a game last year where we had a WWE night. He came and was signing autographs and talking to season ticket members and partners. And then one of the most important things we've done is we have a annual Black History celebration that we make front and center. And Willie O'Ree, which was the first African-American to play in the National Hockey League, we had a giveaway, kind of a hologram giveaway card on our Black History game last February. So, we like to connect with current events, but also important initiatives within our organization, and really, take the game and turn it into an event. So, excuse me, that's kind of our promotional theme. And then you may ask, okay, so since the pause with the pandemic, what have you been doing? Well, we've been doing a lot, and there's a lot going on this slide, but over the last 8-9 months, we've been doing all kinds of things to stay active, keeping engaging content, and just staying out there and staying relevant and connecting and engaging with our fans. And all these things are things that announcements or partnerships or programs that we've been running here over the last 8 months. There's a lot more, but one I really wanted to highlight was we had in October our first ever girls only street hockey clinic. So normally we go out into the communities, and 5 or 6 of our youth hockey partners, we do these street hockey clinics to get sticks in hands. We couldn't do that this year because of the pandemic. We were able to bring everyone down to the field house, following all the safety protocols, procedures, and standards. And we had an awesome socially distant girls only clinic. And we had 60 girls come down that had, I think it was close to 50 of them had never played hockey, never even picked up a stick. And they had a fundamental hockey clinic that was put on by a relationship we have with Brianne McLaughlin, who is a 2-time Olympic medal winner on the USA Olympic team and grew up in Elyria. And she came back, she coaches in Pittsburgh with the college, and came back and ran this clinic. And it was just so awesome to, diversify the sport and make the sport easier, and to have 60 little girls out there learning the sport of hockey was something we were all very proud of. So it was a great, great event that we had. So that's the Monsters. I'll flip to the Charge real quick. So, the Charge is part of the NBA G League. This is kind of our footprint in the G League. There are 28 teams in the NBA G League. Most have, all but one really has a 1-to-1 relationship with their NBA team. there is actually a new team coming on in Mexico City that probably won't come on this year, but will be looking to come on next year. They'll make it 29 teams. And of course, we're affiliated with the Cavs, and in Canton, from Independence, where our practice facility is, it's about a 40-minute or so, 45-minute drive. So the accessibility for our basketball team on the Cavs side, to be able to connect with our players that are playing in Canton and guys that could potentially be called up, and just having the same systems and terminology, and with our scouts and basketball ops group has been huge for us. So this is kind of the footprint, excuse me, a little bit about the league. The league has been going strong, and there are some great players. This G League alum list here, you might know some of these players. Hassan Whiteside, who's in the middle, he's a great player, started in the G League. Some great players that have kind of come on. Clint Capella here and the Rockets, he started in the G League, and several others have kind of come through. Really the G League now has become the second best basketball league in the world, arguably, which I think before maybe wasn't that, but now you're seeing the best players that they aspire to be in the NBA come to the G League. We've had last year in the G League, there were 55 NBA G League player call-ups to the NBA. So guys that are starting in the G League, it's very competitive. It's a great way to kind of learn and keep growing, and there's opportunities to get called up. This year, there's a brand new team called Team Ignite, which has really the best high school players in the country that elected to not go to college, but they're all playing in this centralized team that they're getting basically taught how to be professionals from certainly a basketball development end, but how to be a professional, financial advice, how to care for your body, nutrition, things of that sort. And they're going to be part of the G League this year as well. And this is like the Zion Williamson types that, from this year's class are going to this team and will likely be playing the NBA next year. So that's part of the G League as well. From a charge standpoint, we like to be involved, and we have an engaged group of fans who play at the Camp Memorial Civic Center. It's a smaller historic building. We average about 3,000 fans per game. When the Civic Center is packed, it is loud in there. It's kind of a older barn type feel, and we should play some hockey in there. That would be kind of fun, but it's a really loud, intimate building, and we like to program that. There's a lot of fans that come from Stark County. We get fans from everywhere, but primarily it's in the Canton, Stark County, Akron area. Obviously, a lot of you folks in Hudson area, it's a pretty short drive down to Canton. So the more the merrier. And we have an expanded presence too on social media, with Facebook and Twitter, and providing really engaging content. We have a great creative team that brings a charge right to the phones and computers and homes of all of our fans. And then the G League has partnerships with ESPN, NBA TV, and Twitch, which is a streaming platform to deliver and broadcast games back. So there's a lot of visibility. We have our games on the radio as well. 99.7 FM, Canton's New Country. It's an iHeart station. And so there's just a ton of visibility with the charge and reach that gets us out there. And then finally, community is a big part of the charge with our players and our front office team. You can see some of the things we've done here with, being out in the community and being involved. Youth basketball is a core part of what we do. So we have a lot of camps and clinics that we partner with the Cavs on, and just kind of being out there. So, and with kind of what we've been doing with the charge, we've been doing a lot. A couple of things I'll call out here. So, obviously racial and social justice and equity is a big part of, what we believe in as an organization. Certainly the events of the last several months, we've really been playing a prominent role. We have a diversity and inclusion part of our overall organization led by Kevin Clayton that you can see there. But our coaches on the basketball side and front office team with Coach JV Bickerstaff and Kobe Altman, they've been involved in really being out there, connecting, having community conversations, really working to change how things are. And they were involved in, this is just one small thing, they're involved in a panel on racial justice and professional sports in July. And then one we just had last week, we had a women in sports virtual panel that you can see here in the middle that had 6 ladies that are from this area. That one is our coach on the Cavs, Lindsay Gottlieb. one of our Monsters team members, Raven Payne, and then several others, a couple from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, folks in baseball, Renee Powell, who's a historic LPGA golfer and runs the Clearview Golf Club down in Canton. But we had a panel and they just talked about how they got into sports as women, and, you know, Raven and Renee being African Americans and kind of their journey, and just, you know, it's hard, but it can be done. And it was such an inspiring session for about an hour and 45 minutes. It was moderated by Joanna Radoff, who's our community relations manager in Canton. And I and our entire team was just so proud of all these ladies and their stories, but our charge team in particular for putting this event together. So that's I know a lot. We do a lot and have a lot, but you know, I thank everyone for the opportunity. Hopefully I didn't put everyone to sleep there, because there was a lot there. I could probably talk for 4 hours about this, but that's kind of an overview of our organization and some of the things we've been working on. Does anybody have any questions or anything that I didn't cover or you'd like to know about? I can try to answer. I may not have all the answers, but I'll try.
I guess I'll start off. So way back when I was with Kraft Foods, we were a heavy sponsor of the Cavs, you know, in the arena, those tie-ins in the store and that sort of thing. So obviously you've lost all kinds of revenue, you know, television revenue, but also the in-venue promotions, and then a lot of the tie-ins and so forth. So what are you adjusted the economics of running the team during COVID?
Yeah, well, you know, it's certainly, you know, been an impact. It's been, you know, this has been, as I mentioned, extremely tough on every single industry going through this, certainly unprecedented. And I think well documented in professional sports, it's been extremely difficult. You know, I think obviously you're seeing the, you know, the major professional leagues in the NBA, NHL, MLB, and NFL. There's, you know, the economics are just different in those leagues than what they are with even you look at an American Hockey League or an NBA G League. So there's large TV agreements that certainly help kind of get through some of these times. But, you know, every professional sports organization needs fans in buildings and being engaged, buying tickets, group sales is a huge part of that. And then, as you mentioned, James, the corporate partnership aspects of that. So it's been very tough. There's been a lot of conversations, a lot of creativity, and a lot of innovations, a lot of one-to-one conversations, you know, specific to your question about partnerships, to understand, okay, what's the overall partnership look like? You know, our season last year, we had 5 home Cavs games that were canceled, and 7 home Monsters games, 2 home Charge games. And then obviously there'll be, you know, truncated form of our seasons this year as we're kind of getting through this and the vaccine starts to get widely distributed and people start to become more comfortable coming out in public. And it's incumbent on us to make sure that that's done in a very, very safe manner, that we have we've been working so hard as an organization with the health and safety protocols and our medical partners, and working with the state and city and county governments to ensure that when people come to our venue, it will be safe, it will be sanitized, there'll be adequate social distancing, there'll be effective signage to have the ingress and egress happen. So that's all part of, back to when we're talking with our clients about that confidence and ultimately coming back to games. So yes, it's really been an impact. This year will look different than a normal year, but we're getting close. We've been having great conversations. I will say that our corporate partners and our season ticket members have been so supportive and understanding of the situation. And we've been communicating to them often, and we'll continue to do that as we kind of go into our Cavs season opening up. You know, we, through the Responsible Restart Ohio, you know, guidelines from the state, we can have 300 fans right now at an indoor venue at a game. So we'll have 300 fans at our game on Wednesday. So we're working with our corporate partners, our suite holders, our season ticket members on that. And there'll be a priority distribution, offers will be going out. But we're hopeful that can grow here as the season goes. So the NBA is starting December 22nd, actually, is the start of the league. The Cavs are playing the 23rd. right now our tentative start plans for the AHL, we won't start any earlier than February 5th. The NHL has yet to decide their start date, but we're obviously locked at the hip with the NHL. So likely you'll see the NHL will announce their plans, and probably not official yet, but a couple, 3 weeks after that, the AHL will start. We'll probably play a little bit longer this year, is the plan into the spring and summer. But the goal with all of our leagues are to get back to a normal calendar and start times for the 21-22 season.
Hey, Mike, Rich Warfield, thank you for that presentation there. You kind of answered my question about the limitation on fans, which 300 is going to be like very minor compared to the whole amount of fans that could attend a regular game. But for those people that are season ticket holders that paid in advance, and let's say you can only go to 5 or 8 games based on the allocation of tickets, how do they plan on handling that? Is it just going to get kicked into the following season, or is there any kind of adjustment will be made?
That's a great question. So we've been working with our members, and we'll be we're kind of going through and having conversations. So we've outlined what we'd like to do, in terms of this season, which again won't probably look normal, but we're going to be operating and we're going to be able to have fans, and there's going to be some different seating options that wouldn't be in your exact seat location, but could be in a comparable seat location, or it could be in a different experience. So I'll just give you an example. Let's say you had seats in Loudville, which is our upper level, and you maybe, this year, because you wouldn't come to all the games, you could move into, say, our center straight locations for a game, or a game package, or we're working on some premium concepts that may be able to include food and beverage aspects. You'll be given the opportunity, based on either kind of small game plans, we probably won't do it for the full season, or just single games, to purchase seats for this year. Any monies that our members have paid, will be applied, if you'd like, towards the seats this year. But if not, the money, most partners and members have said, yeah, just go ahead and move that over. There's some incentives by just kind of moving that over to the 21-22 season in terms of benefits. Your tenure as a Cavs or Monsters or Charge season ticket member will retain. There can be some, pricing or other incentives you get with that. So most people have said, hey, I'll just kind of move that over to next year. But if I do come to games, when you can offer those to me, we'll just use it we'll use it this year. So it's kind of been a combination of each, but we'll certainly work with each client to understand their needs and make the best of this season for them.
Could we allocate part of our leftover funds to the Monsters event, or is there no crossover?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to do that, we can absolutely do that. Sounds like you might have a package. If you want to reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to explain that. Or, and just in general though, somebody could do that if they'd like. Sure.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Mike. This has been really great. I want to also thank the Cavs organization for the work that they've done in supporting the Rotary Youth Exchange Program. Every year, we're bringing kids in from all over the world, and one of the highlights of their year with us is to attend one of the Cavs games, actually go down on the floor and high five all the players as they're coming out from the halftime. I'm telling you, the kids talk about that for a long time after they're there. So it's a highlight of their year. Well, today, this has been the conclusion of our month on professional sports. And as I mentioned before, we will not be meeting again until after the new year. So I will bid you adieu until January 6th. We are closing out in our normal fashion and taking a look back in history. And we're going to talk about only one thing today because it was so important. And 250 years ago, in 1770, Ludwig von Beethoven was born. Now, we're not exactly certain that today's the date, but he was baptized on the 17th. And as was the custom, that usually happened the day after the child was born. And so 250 years ago today, one of the world's prominent musicians and composers was born. And with that, we'll wish you a good day. Thank you for attending, and hope you all have a wonderful day.